What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Trading Learning 101. It is the first week of August. This is going to be the weekly recap, the last couple days of July going into the first couple days of August. Let's get right into it. So, this last trading week, we were at the peak in the earnings season, and we are still not seeing volume back into the penny stock world, as a lot of the volume is in the large cap stocks with everybody releasing their earnings. First, let's go over the indexes here. We'll go over the SPX, bring this over. This is a better time frame for us here. So this is the yearly chart right here. This is the last 3 months of trading, and this is the 15-minute chart. And what my face has cut out here is just a little 5-minute chart. But we're still in this uptrend here, as you see. This is the SPX, and we opened up right here, and you could see it just kind of went sideways, but then it had a little tiny move up, and we're still hitting this up resistance wall right here. So not much really to say on the SPX because it's still in this uptrend channel, and I'm currently waiting for a big move to break out of it or for it to fall back down to support here. Next up, we got the Dow Jones. Once again, we're in this kind of wedge right here, and we're right at the wall right here of the resistance wall right here at on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and it's just been very, very, very slow. Nothing has been really going on. This is going to be a really short recap, because really the only trading days that I want to talk about is Monday and Friday. Nothing really went on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and I took a step back from the market. When it's slow like this, it's just a great time to study. That's all you can really do. You can't force anything when market conditions are as slow as they have been. So that was the Dow Jones. Let's go over the NASDAQ real quick. And looks like the NASDAQ recently made a new high. But then after it made this new high, it pulled right back for 3 days. And then after it pulled back, it bounced right here at this 200-day moving average. Or no, the 50-day moving average right here. And now it's starting to trend right back up to this resistance line here. So from looking at this, it's probably going to test it and maybe inch over a little bit. But this is going to be a good week upcoming here, as earnings season is coming to an end, and we're just going to be waiting for that big move to happen to bring the volume back into the penny stock world. So let's get into it. First day, Monday, a lot of anticipation, and everybody wanted to see what AWX would do. And Monday, let's go back to the 5 days here. So a lot of volatility in this, a lot. And a lot of people did not want to touch this. So Friday, it went from $6 and it went all the way up to almost $20 after hours. And then the weekend goes by, and Monday, it gaps up to a high of almost $36. I think it touched 36. It did. So after it touched $36, it was just downhill from there. And you could see from hitting 36 before the market even opened, this dropped all the way down to, I think it opened here at $24. And then it dropped all the way down to $14. And then, as you can see, it just slowly grinded off all day. And a lot of people didn't want to touch this because with the fear of the SEC halting it, and it's just a crazy play. This was a very hard ticker to trade with just all the crazy moves that it was doing. And like I said, no one really wanted to touch this. So it sold off all day Monday. Let's zoom in on this. Sold off all day Monday. And then Tuesday, it would have a quick morning pop here. 465 high from around 375. So a dollar spike right there. But then it just continued to just sell off and die off. And it would just get these weird pops from time to time. And here was Wednesday when it went from around 320 up to 437. So another dollar spike right there. And then this is Friday. Right there. So that was AWX, and then another one was SLJ, I believe. What was it? SSLJ. So SSLJ, it had news on Friday. This was the play I held over the weekend. And I sold it before market open for a profit of, I think it was just over $800 on it. And you could see I scaled out right here. And I just wanted to, when I'm up in profit, I like to just take it off the table. But if I would have hold on, you know, I was having a fear that this was going to have a hard time breaking $2 right here. Because if you pull up the daily right here, Friday, it didn't even touch $2. It hit $1.99 and it fell right back down. So as it was coming up to 2, I started scaling out of my position, thinking, all right, Monday, something else could possibly pop up and volume could, veer away from this play. But I was wrong on this. And as soon as the market opened on this, it spikes up. It spikes up to a high of 270. And it comes back down, and then after that morning rip right there, this was kind of hard because it was just really choppy, and you can see it's just slowly grinding up, and then pulls back down to the VWAP here, and then gets a good rip from 225 up to 265. And then drops down, consolidates, hits a high of $3, and then look at that dump. Just about $1.25 dump right here. And I believe this was like an 8 million in float stock. And then after that, it just didn't do anything. So it was done for the rest of the week, as you can see. And that just goes to show why it's not good to bag hold these penny stocks, because you don't know what's going to happen. And you just got to play where the volume is currently at. So after that, we had a few things going on Monday. We had NAKD that had some news, I believe. It pops up from 350 pre-market. It hits a high of almost $7. And then as soon as the bell rings, you could see right here, it was kind of like a fake out. So market opens, it spikes up, comes down, and then it looks like it's starting to grind up, making higher lows here. Grinding up and forming a wedge here, as you can see, right here. Forming a wedge, it looked like. And when you see a wedge like this, normally it would come up, get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and break through this resistance wall here and start running. And it just failed right in the middle of making this wedge here and drops from 622 down to 555. And then just go sideways the rest of the day. You see it hit the VWAP. a couple times, hits the VWAP a couple times, and then just boom, drops off again. And then the next day, just volume, there's no volume in it. It bounces off the VWAP, and look at where it's at now. So it just goes to show you guys that you gotta play what's hot at the moment, and then forget about it once you're done, because volume changes from day to day, to ticker to ticker. You gotta play what's hot that current day. Yeah, you can keep an eye on it for the next couple days. Volume can come back to it, but you don't want to predict the market, like I said, especially penny stocks. You just want to ride the wave. That's what it's all about. So that was NAKD, and then we had MYND. MYND was very, very tough to trade. I didn't play this one at all. I took that, what was that? That swing position on SSLJ. I sold that pre-market, and then Monday I just watched the market. I didn't want to make any ridiculous moves. I knew the current market conditions, and I just didn't want to take any chances. So this was MYND, and this had a great morning spike right here from $1.60 up to $2.55. Boom, right out of the gates, right there. And then it pulls back, and then it just starts grinding and grinding and grinding up. Does almost a double top right here, pulls back down, bounces off this VWAP, and then shoots up from 226 up to 270. Just very, very choppy what this was. Just very choppy. And as you can see right here, I can't see the pre-market here, but it almost looks like a head and shoulders. You got the head right here, you got a shoulder right here, and I'm sure pre-market there was another shoulder over here. And then as you can see, it just dropped off and got destroyed the second half of the day, going from almost $2.50 down to $2, and then around $2 down to $1.75. And then as you can see again, volume just slowly disappeared out of it, and it's flatlining. It's just there's just no volume right now. After Monday, I looked a little bit in the market on Tuesday, and I think Wednesday I wasn't in the market, and Thursday I wasn't in the market because I want to wait, and I know if I'm in the market, I'm gonna get tempted and I'm gonna force a trade, and I don't want to do that. Like I said, when the market conditions are bad like this, it's just best to study, watch videos, study patterns, look at charts, just retouch up on your strategies. That way, when the market conditions heat back up, you are prepared. So another one we had Monday was a big one. HMNY. Just a piece of crap company. This thing spiked up Monday to a high of, I think, $2 right here. And let me see if I can, it was just a ridiculous play. I couldn't believe it. Monday spikes to a high of almost $2. Friday, it closes at around 5 cents. Just a ridiculous play. I really hope nobody chased this right here. We recently just went over this because this ticker recently did a few weeks ago, or maybe last week, did a reverse split, a 1 for 260 reverse split. They opened it at $35, and it just slowly declined all the way back down to dollars, a couple bucks, and drops below $1, and then out of nowhere, this thing just explodes. Was this on Monday? 7:31. No, it was Tuesday this happened. So, look at this. So, this is where it closed. Pre-market, it had, okay, a little pop, but it's not really going to pop up on many people's scanners. And this just wasn't doing anything. And then out of nowhere, look at this. Can you guys see that? Yeah. So out of nowhere here, it just explodes from around 73 cents, runs all the way up to $1.12 and gets halted. And then when this opens back up, it opens up to around $1.50 and runs and hits a high of $2 and then just gets destroyed and drops all the way back down to 75 cents. Wow. Look at that. And look at the volume on this. It's not really much. You got, I'm going to count the volume every minute reaching to the top of this $2 here. So we got the first minute, we got market opens, 204,000, 65,000, 44,000, 110,000, 188,000, 161,000, 68,000, and then this big green candle here, we had 370,000 in volume. The next candle after that, 411,000. Then 327,000. And then almost 1 million in shares this 1 minute right here. Almost 1 million. Wow. And you can clearly see that right here. If you look right here, you see how this first candle right here, green, and then you see the second one's bigger. The third one's a little bit bigger. Okay, it's following a trend, getting higher and higher. And then this is where it throws it off, is this one right here. You see how this one didn't continue growing higher, but the stock price is still going up, and the bar on this is actually bigger than this one. That should be throwing a red flag right there. The volume's not matching with the price movement of this right here. And then you get this big green or red sell-off a minute later of almost 1 million shares. That's crazy. I know as time is going, you're not analyzing and you're not looking at all this, but this is why it's important to go back and look at stuff like this, to maybe when you are in that situation, you think about looking at stuff like that and you check. And you gotta know kind of stuff like this. Little stuff like this is a big difference maker, for me anyway. There's a book titled Volume Price Analysis, and I will show you guys a picture of it. I will go get it at the end of this video and I'll present it to you guys. Hold on. It's called Volume Price Analysis, and this is the book right here. Okay? A Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis by Anna Culling. This is a good read right here. This is jam-packed with good information. She just talks about the volume and the patterns of volume bars and comparing them to, comparing the volume bars on the right here of the volume to the candlesticks. And if it doesn't match like it is right here between this candle, it's big, 411,000, and then the next candle, 327,000. Okay, this candle is 411,000, but this next candle here is only 327,000. Why is it bigger and more filled in than this previous candle here. Something's off. That's not right. And she does have some really good theories and strategies in that book. I do recommend that book. It is a good read if you're into, because that's what I'm all about when it comes to trading. That's why you don't see a lot of indicators and stuff on my charts. I like to keep it clean because I only care about price action and volume. Price action and volume. If you just observe that, you will be, that's what, you don't need all these other indicators. This is my opinion though. You can have the MACD, the RSI, and all of that stuff, but that's the way I look at it. That's more distractions than what's actually going on. There's a saying, keep it simple, stupid, or something. Keep it stupid, simple. It's the KISS method. Keep it simple, keep it stupid, simple, or something. You don't need to have a whole bunch of indicators on your chart to where you can't even see the chart and what's going on. If you just observe volume and price action, it's going to take you a long way, and it's going to show you a lot, and you're going to see the emotions and the greed just in that. I don't need to see a convergence with a divergence, and when that crosses over this line, and it gives a good spike to indicate that, okay, a spike's coming. That's just making it too complicated. And when I see people with just 15 to 20 different indicators on their charts and I can't even see the candlesticks, it's just, I don't even attempt to see what they're looking at because they're on a trip. But that's my opinion, and that's what this is all about. This is me voicing my opinions. Hate me or love me for it, I don't care. So getting back to this is a perfect example too on why you do not chase. You do not chase because you could have gotten in at the top here at $1, and then before you know it, this thing's back below $1. You just blew up your account right here in minutes. And that's why I like to sit and wait for patterns. Let the stock spike all it wants. Let it spike, spike, spike from $1 all the way to $10. I don't care if it spiked up that high. I'll wait for it to pull back and then start forming a pattern that I am familiar with and wait for that pattern to set up. That's how you do this. I can't make it any more clear. That's why they say patience and discipline is very key in being a day trader. Patience and discipline and handling your emotions. I know it's hard. It is hard. Very hard. If you think it's easy making a lot of money in the market or mastering the market, you're totally wrong. It's very, very, very hard because the markets are always changing and it's hard to handle your emotions. That's why here's another strategy. Other traders, they change the color of their candles. They don't want it to be green and red. They'll change it to black or white or something else because what does red represents? Red represents danger, fear. What does green represent? Money, greed. So when you put that into an aspect, when you're trading with your own money and you're up in price and then you see a big red candle, that's going to trigger emotions in you and that's going to freak you out. And that's why traders change the colors. That way it doesn't mess with their emotions. And they can actually trade the chart and the pattern rather than trade with their emotions. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. But moving on. And then after this spiked up to a high of $2, this thing it's just crazy. All the way to closes Friday at 5 cents. That's a straight up pump right there. Pump and dump. I've heard some stuff on this, and that is just a wicked move right there. That's why you don't chase. Right there. So what else do we have? NFEC. Now NFEC, I wanted to talk about this one. Not that it has any news or really any volume. It's just this one's interesting to watch. It got my attention here on the daily chart. It has all these multiple green days in a row, and then it pulls back and it loses everything it gained right here. Has a little bounce and then just goes on a straight run here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. No volume each day either. Each day only has like around 200 to 300,000 in volume. So it goes from 280 up to a high of 576. That's $3, okay? Right there. It took 8 days to get there. And then the first day it's red, it drops from 560 down to $4 and then bounces right back up. And then the next day after that, it gives it all back. And it bounces right off of this 13 EMA right here 2 times pretty much. And then now you can see it's just slowly starting to move on up again. So I wanted to show you this, guys, because it's just an interesting chart to watch. I'm not going to trade this or anything, but you never know what could come of this. This is a low float here, I believe. Let's see. NFEC. The float on this is only 3.7 million. So yeah, this can be manipulated. I think its earnings date is in 5 days here. But if this thing starts to get momentum, this thing could really, really, really explode. So I would just put this on your watch list as a back burner and just watch it, because you never know. Volume could come to this and this thing could just explode. Anything's possible. And you could see here, back in the day, it goes from $1 up to 360. So it has a history of spiking. Let's pull up the past 2 years. Really nothing the past 2 years. And this is what you want to look for when you're looking at these tickers. Does it have any history at all of spiking? I could see one right here, right there, from 73 cents up to 225. But it's in an area right now to where there is no resistance. So sky is the limit. If momentum can come into this, it's a low float. It has no resistance above it. This thing could get momentum and just start exploding. So I would definitely be keeping an eye on this just to watch it and see what it does. NFEC. You can clearly see here, this is the 1 minute intraday chart, the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days right here. Just no volume at all. No volume. So moving on. I did take another trade. This was on Tuesday. This one I lost just over, I think, $400 on. And this is a great example on why you do not want to chase. UAVS, very, very low float. And it has a resistance of $2. And this had news pre-market. And you can see it gapped up here. And this was my strategy and why I lost on this too. I'm about to explain it. So the market opens and it immediately starts running up to this $2 level. And if we come and bring up the daily chart here, this blue line here is the 50-day moving average. And when it's just at the break of $2, and you can see all previous right here, this has a resistance of $2. Right around this area right here. So, but when it does pop over $2, let me see here. This is the yearly. So when it does break over the $2, it's got a history of spiking, as we can see, but it's very fast. So I was anticipating this to break over $2, volume to pile into this, and have it go to the moon. That never happened. This simply broke over 2, hit a high of 210, ran into a huge wall of sellers. I got stubborn, I didn't sell, and I sold down here at the bottom for a $400 loss. So that just goes to show, don't try to predict what's going to happen. Wait for setups and don't chase spikes. So then that $800 winner I had Monday now turned into a $400 winner. All because I chased a play right here. And I'm showing this to you guys because I want you guys to at least try to learn from my mistakes. And this put me in check right here. This put me in check, like, alright, volume's not back, need to take a step back. I just chased this play. Alright, now I'm going to be very conservative and I'm not going to really trade anything until it matches a lot of my criteria. And then Wednesday went by. Wednesday we had one. NSYS. And I did trade this. So this was just slowly grinding all day. And you can see right here it's making this wedge. This is a very low float stock. As you can see right here, the float on this is only 2.6 million. So it had this nice little spike right here, and then it grind up and hit this spike right here. And then it started consolidating all of lunch hours. So I'm watching this and I'm like, all right, power hour's coming up. And if you don't know what power hour is, it's pretty much the last hour, hour and a half of the day. And this is when you'll see big moves will happen. Traders will anticipate holding overnight. A lot of people sell their positions so they don't have to hold overnight. This is when the tickers make the last move of the day. And this is why we call it power hour right here. So I noticed on the chart here that it was starting to make this higher low pattern here. And it's got a resistance right here at around 480. So I said, all right, this is going to do a power move. This is going to break over this resistance here at 485. And it's going to break over a mental resistance line here at $5. So as soon as this started perking up around 480, now I was a little bit late on this too. I tried to get filled, I couldn't get filled, so I had a market order in. And I got in with, I only bought 440 shares at just the break of $5. And when this broke $5, this thing went all the way up to 570. And then I sold half right there. Right as it hit 570, I got filled at 548. So I tried holding on to my other half, and I'm thinking this is a low float stock, volume's coming in, This thing, I've seen it many, 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 many times. When a low float stock like this gets a push the last hour of the day, it just goes bananas and crazy. I've tried to hold on to this for so long, and I just couldn't do it. After it touching 570 and then coming all the way back down to $5, that's a lot of hurt right there. And I just did not want to have this little winner turn into a stupid loss, if you know what I'm saying. So I sold my last position here at 507. I made just over, I think, $150 on it. So it pulls back, and if you could see here, I sold it too right at darn near the bottom, and this happens too. I sold it right at the bottom. It starts to grind up again, and then the last couple minutes, it just explodes. And then this is what it does pre-market or after hours. It runs all the way up to 928. And I'm sitting there like, wow, really? I tried so hard holding on to this last little bit here, and I just couldn't do it because it going from 570 down to $5, that's a big move down. And I didn't want it to break below $5 and then start dropping because it's a low float. And then what I sold up here would have been pointless. So I sold out there just to take my profit off the table, and then it just made a move like this. It hurt a little bit, but this was a lot of hype going into this the next day. Everybody was talking about this on Twitter, on Facebook. I was just getting notifications left and right. I was seeing people post videos of it up on YouTube. So this had a lot of, the next AWX, going supernova parabolic, the next AWX, NSYS, the next AWX. So a lot of hype, like I said, going into this the next day, which is Thursday. So the next day comes, and this is what it did. So the next day comes, and then it just slowly started to die off. And then it got a quick little pop there when the market opened, but it went from $8 all the way down to $4.50. Boom, like that. That's a $3.50 move. So, yeah, that hurt right there. And I bet a lot of people lost a lot of money on that just by chasing. And that just goes to show you again that market's not here right now. Market is not here. So you can't force anything. You can't force a trade. So, and also, I just wanted to tell you guys, I did have an account with them, but I just opened it. If any of you guys are interested in following my trades, I will be posting all my trades on the Profitly website. You can find my new username under TradingLearning101. Same name. And same name you can find me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. So just giving you guys a heads up. If you want to follow my trades, I post all my trades now on Profitly. I just uploaded a lot of them there, so go check them out, or if you're interested in following my trades, check it out. So this just dropped off hard Thursday, and then now it's just going sideways. So then that was the only really thing that went on Thursday. So let's just move on to Friday. Friday, we had WMLP. Now this one had a great gap up here from $1.50 up to $5.85. Let's see what the news was. So Westmoreland Resources Partners shares are trading 155% higher on high volume. So it didn't have any news yet. It just had a lot of volume. So where was this volume coming from? And then it gets halted here at 2 o'clock p.m. Friday, news pending. So it had this huge gap up. Market opens, and then it sells off hard. And then it starts to grind its way up, starting at a little before 11:30 a.m. and just grinds its way up from 287 up to 434, and then gets halted, news pending, and they don't reopen it the rest of Friday. So Monday, we're going to be going in, looking at this, wondering what the news is. But then got to be careful with this too. A lot of people are going to be watching this, but when they reopen this, you got to keep into consideration, did they price in the price with the news? Because look what it did here. It gapped up huge at 585, but then it just dropped off hard right here, all the way back down, giving back half of what it went up. Let's see how much it went up. It went up $4.28. That's 267%. And then it falls down all the way down to here. I don't know why I did that. Down to here, and it gave back 51% right there. $3. So, and what is the float on this? Let's see. Oh yeah, very, very, very low float. The float is just over 1 million. So this thing could fly. Let's look at the chart history on this. So it's hit an all-time new highs right here. Let's go back a few years. You can see it had a really great day right here, going from $1.30 up to $4.55, and it looked like our moving averages weren't even a factor for it because it blew through the 50-day here, and then it blew through the 200-day right here. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go to 2 years. So 2 years right here. Alright. Let's highlight that. So all this right here is going to act as a big resistance. I'm going to say $5. $5.50. $5 and $5.50 is going to be hard for it. But it's above that. If it gaps above that, $6. It's going to be hard for it to break through up to $6.25. Let's go back 5 years. Yeah, this was up there at one point, so this is going to have a lot of resistance once it gets above $6 because if you go back 5 years here, this price was trading around $13, $10, all the way up to 25. So let me bring up here past 3 years by the week. Moving averages, you got the 200-day at 561. Okay. So it's good to have these moving averages with the weekly chart, and you also want to have the monthly chart because those will or could act as support and resistance as well. So right here I just pulled up the weekly chart by the year, and on the weekly chart we have the 200 moving average at around 550. And you can see right here where the price hit a high of, it only hit a high of 558 and it came right back down. So that just goes to show you that, you know, it works. Doesn't work all the time, but it's good to know it. And then let's look at the monthly. So on the monthly, the 50-day is at 558. Just once again goes to show you. So we had the monthly, and look at right here on the chart. We had the monthly, the 50-day moving average was at 558. Look at where it hit a high. 585. Come right back down. And then on the weekly chart, we had the 200-day moving average at 550. So $5, breaking over $5 is gonna be hard for this one, in my opinion. So if it can ever get above, up and above $5 and break through 6, then this thing's gonna get going. So I did good right there. $5 is gonna be tough. 550 is gonna be tough. And it bottomed. It's having a little trouble here at 440. So I'm going to say 450. So it's doing like a mental support and resistance kind of thing. Because you could see here it bottomed out at around 284. And that's right around the $3 range. So this is how you put support and resistance up on your charts. Even right here, it bounces like right off of 375 just about. So this thing likes to go off of whole numbers like for $3, $3.25, $3.50, $3.75, $4. So most definitely I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. Let me delete all this stuff, because we are creating a new watch list for the upcoming week. I don't want to do it like this. I normally do it like this. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Okay. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. So I would still keep NSYS on the back burner, NFEC on the back burner, and WMLP will go on the back burner. Oops. will go on the back burner, and it will go on the main watch list. So my weekly watch list. Alrighty, so we got WMLP all done. Wonder what the news is gonna be. Let's pull up Yahoo Finance. Type in WMLP. Nothing on Yahoo Finance. Market Watch. Nothing on Market Watch either. Last press release was July 16th. Or other news was July 16th press release. Their last one was May 25th. Okay. So there's nothing really going on. They're not saying anything yet on Market Watch or Yahoo Finance for WMLP. So it's going to be interesting to hear what they are going to be releasing Monday morning and what's going to happen to this. So let's move on to Friday here. Friday, I didn't even wake up for the market. I took Friday off. I went to my job, came home, got a good night's rest, and here we are. We're making this video. It's good to take a step back from the market. Sometimes, you don't want to overwhelm yourself, and when it's slow, just study. That's the best time. You don't want to force trades, like I said. So we got a few here that popped up on the biggest percentage gainers. And as you can see, I went through real quick just to see what caught my eye here that was good. We had OXBR. It just had a really good morning spike. That's it. But it had 4 million in volume. And look at this. Boom, right out of the gates. Hits a high. It opens up at $1.85 and shoots up to a high of $3, all within just a couple minutes. And then pulls back, bounces off of $2 pretty much, and then goes up to $2.86. No news, just a low float play. It's only 5 million in float. So let's see what happened here. Looks like we just had a good squeeze. So if you look right here, I know you can barely see it, but this orange line right here that I have is the 13 EMA. And what this 13 EMA did is it simply crossed over the 50-day EMA, and that's what we call a squeeze, and we had this explosion up right here. You gotta look out for squeezes like that. They love to happen on these low float stocks. I would say under 20 million in float, when you have the 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, the 12 exponential moving average, or the 13 exponential moving average, when a stock gets tight and tight and tight on the daily with these moving averages like this one, when the moving averages come together finally, and when one crosses above the other, that's when the stock has an explosion up. So they call it the golden cross. And then if it crosses below it, they call it the death cross. And that's when, you get those spikes down or you get those explosions up. They love to happen. So that's a good strategy and a pattern to look out for when you're looking at the daily charts. Why do a lot of traders look at the 50 and 200-day moving averages? Because when you go to a lot of these sites that give you free charting, a lot of the free charting that's out there already have the moving averages plotted on them. And it's just what a lot of traders love to use. They use them because other traders use them. They're the basic moving averages, the 50 and the 200 day. You know, you don't want to use some random moving average like the 125 moving average because nobody uses it. And you'll notice a lot of times they'll act as support and resistance. As you can see right here, it closed right above this 200-day moving average. So this is still going to be in play Monday because it closed above that. That could act as support, and this is a low float. If this gets volume, this could easily, you know, retest that high of $3 and look for its next leg up. So most definitely, and it looks like it's found support here at $2, $2.10. So this is a good one to keep an eye on. I'm simply just going to add this. It's not going to go on my main watch list, but it will go on my back burner. And bring this back over for you guys. So we had OXBR and then UUU. UUU just had a nice little move up here. No volume though. It's just under 1 million in volume. And then it has this nice move up. And what UUU is it's an earnings winner. So let's pull up the news here. So they beat estimates the estimates were 23 cents. They reported 45 cents. And their same quarter last year, sales are up 1 million compared to a year ago. So you can see that right here. Right here. Universal Security Q4 estimated price per share 23 cents versus 45 cents. And same quarter last year, sales 4.417 million, up from 3.5 million. So that's good. And this is a very low float stock. It's only 2 million in float. And if we look at the chart history on this, it loves to spike, but it's very fast. It goes up and then it comes right back down. So this would be something you can't hold on to. You have to be quick with it. It's above all the moving averages. It stopped right up here at just below $2. So let's see if anything's holding it back. If it can get above $2, which it is right now, it's hitting $2.50. The high on this on the yearly is $3.50. Let's see the weekly. Okay, the weekly right here. You can clearly see this big spike up. It almost touched this weekly right here. So I'll put a line right here at 368. If I can get it there. And let's do the monthly. $362 is where the 50-day is on the monthly. 362. So 362 and 368. And you can clearly see this big white one right here. It ran all the way up just about to 350. Trying to get it there. There we go. So that's why it's always good to go back and plot those lines on the chart. That way when the price comes up to that, you already have it plotted to it. And you're like, alright, that's a resistance there. That's a resistance. So this is going to be an interesting one on Monday to see what it does. Because it's a very low float. from the chart is sloppy on it, as you can see. This is the yearly chart, and when it pops up, it quickly comes right back down. And you got to think too, Friday this held its gains, and then shorts are looking at this and they see all these wicks, and they're immediately thinking this is a low float. It loves to pop up and it likes to come right back down. So something truly amazing could happen on this. It could get short squeezed. Anything could happen. And the volume on this day right here when it popped up huge is 3 million in volume. So you can clearly see it doesn't take much to get this going, but you have to be careful with this one. You have to be careful. The price loves to move fast with UUU. Alright, moving on. So last week I noticed BLNK kept popping up a lot. BLNK has been popping up a lot recently. And you can see it just grinded up all day here. And then after hours, it just pretty much exploded up a little bit. And BLNK has no news. And the flow is actually BLNK. The float's 11.5 million. It's still pretty low, but if you go and look at the chart history on this, it loves to spike right here. This thing got up to $15 one time. And you can see a clear spike right here. But it's coming up to the moving averages right here at around $5, $5.25. So you're going to want to plot those out. So we got the 200s at $4.85. The simple moving average is at $5. $4.85. And $5.12. So we'll plot those. That's still a couple dollars away. So this is definitely going to be on watch to see if volume comes to this. Friday, it got just below under 1 million in volume. You can see that right here. It says 1 million up here on Thinkorswim, and it says just under 1 million right here. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't want to predict what happens. Something off the grid could happen on Monday. Something comes out with really good news and the volume goes to that. That's why I just put these on the back burner and see if anything happens with them Monday. Next up we got ORPN. ORPN doesn't interest me. MTSL. So MTSL, no news on it. It recently just got compliance. It regained the compliance with the NASDAQ, but this is one of those tickers where traders kept going back to it and it kept spiking. You can clearly see here it goes from $1.50 up to $6.50, and it looks like it's starting to pull back here. I like the pattern that this is forming. It's bouncing here off of the moving averages, and you can see the 50-day is slowly creeping its way up to the 200-day here. So we might be getting a crossover where it's squeezing itself. This is a low flow at 1.9 million. So this is a good potential for a great squeeze. The squeeze could happen anytime. So I am just going to put a note on this. Right here. squeeze forming anytime now. And I'm going to put a price alert on this. If it gets above, I'm going to say 215. There we go. I'm actually going to add this now to my watch list. And then also GBR. GBR is a recent runner in the past year. And once again, you can see the 13 EMA right there acting as a wall. And the 200 days here at the bottom is slowly moving up to that. So there is another potential squeeze right here. And it looks like you can clearly see it's going down. And now it's starting to go sideways and maybe starting to move its way up. So if this, I would say, gets above $3, a lot of hype and potential could come into this. Because the float on GBR is only a $2 million in float stock. And this is a recent runner up to almost $13. So there it is. It's on my back burner right here. And this is how you create a watch list, guys. You remember these tickers. You're in the market every day. And when stuff starts to pop up, you remember it. The only reason I remember GBR, MTSL, and AWX, they're all related. All because of one guy, Guy Gentle, making these go supernova. And we gotta have AWX still on the back burner. Has to be. And how do I know that? Because I'm in the market every single day. So I familiarize myself with these tickers. And I think MTSL is going to be the last one. We got NFEC still up on there. ATOS always pops up. Nothing ever happens. And just like every pre-market, TROV pops up, but nothing ever happens. It simply pops up and it comes right back down. You can see it here. Pops up, down. Yeah, it had a little spike there. Who cares? Has a nice gap up there. Falls down. And if you look at the chart on this, the chart on this is just garbage. It just, I have no desire to play this play at all. And even though it is the float's under 1 million, yeah, anything could happen, but traders are just not interested in this because the chart just doesn't look interesting at all. There's nothing tradable looking on this chart. That's why it's not going to attract traders. But anything could happen. It's the market. Anything could happen. You always have to have an open mind. But that's all the tickers that I'm going to go through real quick, guys. Once again, that book is a complete guide to price and volume analysis. So really good read here. And then a recent book I just picked up. I just picked this up. I'm going to read it. Let me know if you guys have read it or checked it out. But I've been really getting into volume lately. And I want to know as much as I can and grow as a trader right now in the volume category. Because volume is just so fascinating. You know, that's why they say go back and look at when stocks spike. Look at what the last big day it had and what was the volume that traded that day. The higher the volume, the more that's going to act as a resistance. but there's all sorts of stuff related to volume. And the other trading book I got here was the Trader's Book of Volume, the definitive guide to volume trading. I don't know, I just got on Amazon and I typed in volume trading books, and this had a few good reviews on it. It was like 10 bucks, 12 bucks, picked it up. Why not? I'm always interested in a good trading book to read. I love reading and learning more about the market. And like I said, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. And you have to be obsessed with this. You want to have to learn. And I don't have to read that book. I don't have to. You know, I want to, because the market offers just so much to you. It does. And I really want to be successful at this. But this is the weekly watch list video. My little watch list here for the upcoming week. I have a few tickers I'm keeping an eye on. My weekly watch list, the ones I'm going to be keeping a close eye on Monday, is WMLP for that unhalt in the news, the UUU earnings, and MTSL. I just like the chart pattern on that. And then I have my back burner here, OXBR, BLNK, NFVC, GBR, AWX, and NSYS. Now, even though NSYS hasn't done anything the past couple of days, when a stock makes a move like that, you know, you have to keep an eye on it for the next few days. You have to, because volume could easily return back to this. You never know. But, alright, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure you study up, prepare yourself for the upcoming week, and I'm still going to take my step off the gas a little bit next week. I don't want to be aggressive until I see volume return to the penny stock world. It's been a tough one these past 3 weeks. We're nearing the end of earnings season, and like I said, we're just waiting right now for that news release that brings back volume into the market, or the stock that goes supernova parabolic that simply just brings volume back into the market. And let me tell you, when that volume returns, you will notice, because everything will be exploding left and right. I'm going from having a watch list here of 3 tickers. When the volume really comes back and starts exploding, them 3 tickers will then be 5, 10 tickers on my list. You know, not on my main list. I don't like to overwhelm myself with stocks to watch, but there will be a lot more stuff in play than right now. That's why they say it's important to wait for market conditions. And when it's not hot, scale back. When it's on fire, that's when you be aggressive and attack. So it's just all about waiting right now. That's what it is. Patience pays. Alright? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I like to post videos. I try to post a video every other day. It's hard doing this with a full-time job and trading and, you know, life. But I make these videos for you guys and also to document my trading journey. But enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Stay safe. Study up. I will see you guys Monday. Have a good one. Alright, later.